In our first lecture in microbiology, we'll be talking about what microbiology actually is. It'll be an introduction to microbes. What does this word even mean? We'll talk briefly about bacteria, viruses, mold, yeast, which are all microbes. Then we'll talk about the essential role of microscopy in the world of microbiology, as well as staining cells so that you can look at them under the microscope. And all of this is important for diagnosing what a microbe is when someone is sick. So by the time you finish this first lesson, you'll have a good understanding of what microbiology is. We'll start by defining microbiology, defining the word pathogen, which I'm telling you from now means anything that makes you sick. We'll talk about the role of microscopes. We'll talk about how microbes can be beneficial, like the bacteria in our gut that help with digestion, or they can be pathogens that make you sick, like coronaviruses that cause COVID and have caused a pandemic in our world. Next, in this first lecture, we'll talk about microscopy. So microscopes are the fundamental tools that allow us to look at microbes. Whether you're looking at someone's urine or someone's blood sample, you'll learn about different types of microscopes, including ones that are used in medical laboratories to diagnose infections. You'll understand how to use a microscope and the important skills because it lets us see pathogens that cause disease, like samples from a throat sample, or like I said, a urine or blood sample. Without microscopy, identifying pathogens and understanding their behavior would be almost impossible. So it would really limit our ability to diagnose and treat diseases. And then finally, in this first lecture, we'll discuss staining techniques. So staining is a method used to enhance the contrast of microbes, making them visible under a microscope. Think of microbes in urine and someone who has a urinary infection. So this section will cover the basic types of stains, including simple stains, differential stains, like something called a gram stain that are used to classify bacteria and guide antibiotic treatment. We'll talk about special stains that look at special parts of bacterial cells, like something called capsules that protects bacteria from our immune system. So these techniques are very important, and again, they're essential in diagnosis of diseases, all the way from like pneumonia, meningitis, even sepsis. So as you listen to this first lecture, pay attention to the importance of microscopy and staining in microbiology, and hopefully you'll have a good understanding before we get into the other lectures.